It's Dakota from Band Banta, and I'm here with All Absurd, a brand new 5-piece from Adelaide, Ghanaland. Guys, I hope you're feeling well today. Are you able to give us a bit of an introduction?
Yeah, no worries. I'm Lockie. I play the drums.
I'm Patrick, and I sing and play guitar sometimes.
I'm Kafara. I play the bass.
I'm Jack, and I play the guitar.
And I'm Will, and I'm kind of just here for vibes. I play the saxophone.
As mentioned, All Absurd is still relatively new in the Adelaide music scene, which is very exciting. What's the experience been like playing shows and finding your place within this music scene and music community?
Well, I've been playing gigs in Adelaide literally since I moved here 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I can safely say it is just the nicest scene ever. Like, everyone's so welcoming. I didn't know a single person when I moved here. Now I feel I've got, hundreds of friends here.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes the music here so fun and so good to play. You can just sort of join in and everyone's so welcoming. And there's so many great bands here. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think anyone you speak to playing in bands in Adelaide will say the same thing, that it's just really, really, really welcoming. Like, we've never played with a band and haven't been able to have a beer with them afterwards or speak to them. It's really sweet. It's just a good time.
I mean, we're still taking applications for friends. There's plenty of people we haven't met yet, but it's been great so far.
Patrick and Jack, you both went to school together and then later spent time living and performing in London, which is really cool. So before returning to Adelaide and performing for All Absurd, how did that experience in London shape the band and how All Absurd is now?
We definitely made some pretty sad music for a while.
Okay.
Jack and I were living in a room probably 4 meters by 4 meters with another bloke. And I'm a pretty messy guy and I think Jack got pretty annoyed with that pretty quickly. But it was cool. Like, we always knew we wanted to play music with each other. We started that in high school. Yeah. And then I think we did a really good job at procrastinating. So good that we moved across the world. But we really kind of got cracking there.
Okay.
And gave us a little, I don't know about kick up, but it was definitely the start we needed.
I think it's also just influenced how we go about it now, because we had to do a lot of growing up, being away from home, and just a lot of life experience. We didn't have the best time there, but it's
memory.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that draws back to what we were just saying about the community here. It was so much easier to find ourselves back home compared to over there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're a bit more familiar with Adelaide as well, right? And kind of know some people, so you already had that support system here, but then being able to just join the Adelaide music scene, which is a big family and big community, would have been a really nice feeling after being overseas.
It was nice to come in, but honestly we started pretty, we kind of just jumped in not really knowing anything, not really knowing anyone. We're kind of hermits sometimes, to be honest. But we thought we'd just get in there. We wanted to play, and then ended up meeting these guys somehow and started the band through that, which was awesome. Really, really nice. It was cool.
Yeah, and you guys have played quite a few shows now, which is really exciting. What's it been like? Was it nerve-wracking at first, joining lineups of bands you weren't familiar with and playing to crowds of people that you didn't really know?
Okay, well, I am actually a quite good person for not knowing bands, because honestly, I was completely new to the scene.
Okay.
I was brought in by the drummer Lockie, and I remember the first show, I was super nerve-wracked, but I've never really after that have felt any stress, because it has always been a positive experience. The worst times, the sound doesn't sound like the best, and that's just random to the night, but it's always great, especially with fun people like this.
Oh, that's so sweet.
If you ever watch Casey play, you will not know that he's nervous. He's the most calm-looking bassist ever.
Yeah, I think so.
He hides it very well.
I reckon he could, his house could burn down and he'd come to the gig and we wouldn't know. She's like, oh man, no house anymore. That's all right, let's get on to it.
He's just can I crash at your place? You're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, why? Yeah, the house is not there anymore. Yeah, I don't know about nerve-wracking and getting up on stage and stuff. We were more just excited. Definitely nervous at the start, but more trying to get the gigs was definitely something that we still do struggle with, and reaching out and trying to find where to get on lineups to play is But we're still working that out.
That can be tricky when you're a new band, and particularly like you're completely independent. Like it's you guys. You've got your support system, but figuring out who to contact, which venues to play, like who you want on a lineup. That's so daunting.
It really is. Yeah.
All the moving pieces.
I think a lot of people make it look really easy, and it's not easy. For us anyway. Maybe we make it really hard. Yeah. Maybe everyone else has no problem. It's just us.
You seem to be doing really well for yourself so far, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks. That's all we can ask.
I want to talk about your name, because you didn't just choose the name All Absurd because it sounded cool. It actually connects to it does sound cool as well.
Okay, thanks.
But it connects to the philosophy of absurdism and the irrationality of the human experience. So how did this idea influence your music and the way you create your sounds?
Yeah, well, Casey can really speak to this because he wanted to change the name a couple of weeks ago, and he really hates the name.
Actually, it's really funny because Jack actually was the one who decided he wanted to change the name.
These guys they're telling fibs. I'm just going to hand this one back to Patrick, who came up with the name.
Look, I think we've all been into like a really deep like YouTube hole.
Okay, right. Yeah.
And I definitely got into one of those one time. I was watching this like video essay about it, and absurdism is kind of realizing that you don't have like a meaning and a purpose, which can be scary, but it's also like you can do whatever you want. And I think we try and lean into that and not take ourselves too seriously, and not take our music seriously, but have fun doing it. I think making sure that we're not getting too caught up in little things, making sure that we're like, at the end of the day, we're just a bunch of mates playing music, and just to enjoy it rather than worry about bigger picture stuff all the time.
I think we are, as people, all absurd in our own ways. And a lot of people expect perfection, right? Yeah. And the importance of music, at least for me, and in All Absurd, is to bring that to light, that we are all people and we are all absurd in our own ways, and that shouldn't be like looked over.
Very nice.
What a guy.
Thank you very much.
We're not all individuals. We're all absurd.
I think it's the friends we make along the way is what we really are.
Yeah. What do they say? The grass is greener where you water it.
For people discovering All Absurd for the first time, how would you describe your sound or the feeling you want listeners to feel when listening to one of your songs?
I can only control one aspect of the song, and that's the drums.
Yeah.
I like to keep it fun. I think if you don't have the energy of a live show, it's just not as good. So for me, I try and bring you. I want you to hear how much energy I'm putting into it in the studio when I record.
Yeah.
Because that's how much I like to put when I play. But that's just from the drum aspects. That's just the bassline rhythm. I think Patrick and Jack have a lot more control of the rest of the sound.
With all our releases at the moment, they're all kind of gradually changing as new songs come out. I feel like Clark Kent's very, very different tonality compared to Almost. And but to tie them all together, I think it's the topics in the lyrics anyway are more about kind of just not so much opening up, but more shining a light on, I think, things that a lot of people go through. But kind of going through that, and we want to make our songs sound interesting, fun. I think everyone does, but we really kind of knuckle down on doing things that we're not bored playing or listening to either.
It's also, I mean, at least for me as well, and with our decisions we make, trying to get the emotions, it's easy to say that, get the emotions, get the listener feeling that as well. Yeah. Even throughout the parts that there's no lyrics, no singing, like the whole sort of the atmosphere of music, I think, hopefully makes people feel some sort of way.
One of the songs that I think uses the sonic elements really well to go with the lyrics is the chorus of your new song, Almost. Particularly the drums. I really like how the drums go. So you've just released this new song. It's called Almost. Can you tell us about the story or themes behind the track?
It's kind of just about a relationship that for a few reasons just didn't quite get there.
Yeah. Situationship song? Maybe?
No, it was definitely personal experience. It was about a relationship that just didn't quite get there. Yeah, just for a couple of small things that were really not in either of us control. I think I needed to do a little bit more working on myself. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of about exploring that from a perspective of, hey, it was maybe more me that needed to do some work, and I can accept that and to kind of go about it. I don't really know how to explain what I wrote. It's kind of strange.
You wrote it at a time that you were feeling these emotions, so...
Yeah, a little while ago. Yeah, I think it's not really classic breakup song, more... No, maybe it is classic breakup song.
Is it kind of like a song that, you know, talks about the realization of this isn't working and the reflection on why?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done. You should answer this question.
That's all right. I mean, I've listened to it a few times, and that's what I get from it. So if that's what it is,
Well,
you've done your job.
I'm glad that's what you're getting from it. I think everyone can take what they want from it. You know,
That's the
it's
great
a...
thing about music, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe a little bit of a template to be like, oh, I can relate this to what I'm going through or something. So.
What do each of you love most about Almost? Is there a lyric, a musical moment, or a part of the writing process that stands out to each of you?
Well, you talked about it before, the chorus.
The chorus, yeah.
Anyone who listened to it will probably have not really thought about it, but it's more of a reflection on us. I think those first 5 seconds as hits in the chorus is the most we've ever had to practice for like the shortest amount of music. We kept having to move the lyrics to to fit with the hits and when the hits were, and I reckon it was a good 3 or 4 hours of just doing those hits until we worked out where we wanted them.
Yeah, I reckon
which is quite embarrassing for us, really.
But I don't think I've ever been more angry at Lockie and Jack specifically, because I came in with this song and I had the hits in a spot and they went, nah, like just nudge it like forward a half beat, and I just wasn't having it. I was really angry, but they were right, unfortunately.
Yeah, we nearly broke up as a band.
Second single, or like second single as a band?
Yeah.
Second single as a band, and you've almost broken up. But hey,
Almost.
almost.
But I think in the end it came out really well.
I have to agree.
I quite like the hits in the chorus, but
Me too.
it was a tough road to get there.
Yeah, I think I really love the lyrics as a kind of a selfish point, but the most fun I had when we were recording it was when we were doing the guitars. We had like this little analog pedal that we were kind of just fiddling with, and it made like some really weird sound. They're like tiny little bits that are probably hard to notice, but I notice them every time, and I think that they were just the most fun I had. I was like, whoa, that's sick. And we spent like literally an hour just like Jack would play a note and then I'd sit down fiddling with the pedals while he was playing. But yeah, I really like those little sound bites, I think.
Personally, I am just a really big fan of how much energy we do get in those hits, and especially I think it's the riff after the second verse. I just love playing that every single time, especially live. But yeah, I just feel like a lot of the songs that we've made have a lot of energy, like high intensity moments, which are really fun to listen to, but also to play. I just love it.
I really like the drums in it. It's it shouldn't go unnoticed. It's pretty exhausting for Lockie, so if you keep an eye on him, you'll notice like he just starts wiping the sweat away. It's pretty funny. And yeah, the saxophone's pretty good too.
My best playing, I reckon, on that song. I absolutely love the energy. I agree with Casey. The energy on that song and the build up from start to finish is just like so great. It starts off, with like a super cool vibe, but then by the end of the song, you feel like you want to get up, you want to have a dance, and it just does that so well, I think.
To go along with Almost, there is a really fun music video. What was the creative process behind bringing that visual side of the song to life and the dance?
Yeah, we had a lot of ideas, and we came up with a lot of ideas on the spot, which I think was what made it so great.
Some of the original ideas did make the cut, but we do have to give props to Lockie again, because he did come up with some great ideas, and probably the main bit of choreography.
I think it comes through in the video. We just had so much fun.
Yeah.
Like we genuinely just had so much fun recording that. Like we came up with some just stupid ideas, and we did them, and we thought they were hilarious. I think that's what we do with a lot of stuff. To be honest, we do things that we think are funny.
Yeah.
I think most people might not find them funny, but we think we're hilarious. We should honestly switch to be comedians instead of musicians.
Or you could be both.
Yeah, well, Lockie's going to do a stand-up show at our next gig, if you can. Yeah, I think the dancing was definitely a highlight for me. And Max and Brooke did a really, really good job on the video. Honestly, they made it turn out exactly how I had it in my head at Stapleford Films. It was unreal.
Like, it's really easy to say, oh, you know, we just had fun and then it came out good. But, like, you need someone there who's going to actually do the hard yards to make it look good.
Put it together.
It's the same with the music, you know. We can be like, oh, you know, we just had so much fun making it, but, you know, you need, like, Lucinda there to help us just get it through and make it come out sounding as good as it does.
I think we're grateful for the people that help us.
Yeah, it's all the people around us have been super
Takes a
great.
village.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So far, as a band, you've been releasing one song a year, or thereabouts. Well, you had your first one in 2024, and that was just Patrick and Jack, right?
Yeah,
and then last year was Parallel Lines, which was a big hit with the South Australian music scene. You guys got number 5 in the Sickest 100, which is so sick. And then Almost in February. So really, you're like on track for that's your only release this year.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done for the year.
We're done. Let's see you next year, guys.
Yeah.
Can we expect more music this year?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, we're working on having a EP coming out this year. That's not a secret. Everyone can know.
Told everyone.
Yeah, I'm honestly.
This is the official release now.
Yeah, I guess. It's still gonna be a while away. We have started recording 3 of the songs at the moment.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm buzzing for this. I'm so excited for this EP. I think everyone's excited. Every band's excited for new music, and we are in the process of still finding our sound.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of evident in the songs that we have released how they change in each song at the moment, and it's very exciting that we get to put out a whole work that kind of sounds the same, and a sound that we've honestly curated over the last 2 or 3 years. Like a lot of these songs did come about from being in London, and like the ideas of the songs came about there, and then it's nice to kind of have that as a snapshot, as like to look back on it, and I'm just really proud of those songs, and I'm really excited to get them out.
Also, Will, our lovely saxophone player, who has yet to feature on a release track, will finally be on a song, multiple songs. He'll be on all the songs.
Oh, very cool.
If you've seen us live, you'll know he's excellent and
It's
great.
not just for decoration.
Yeah, unfortunately, he hasn't been on any of the releases yet, but that's
He
what
will
I'm
be.
most looking forward to
Yeah,
for the new releases.
Yeah, on what Lockie was saying, I'm absolutely super excited to finally be on a track and finally have some involvement that's not just playing live. And I love playing with you guys live, so don't get me wrong. And I'm super excited for this EP. I agree that it is a new sound, but consistent over the whole thing, and I think that's really good.
Well, thank you guys so much for catching up with me today and talking about All Absurd and letting us learn more about the band. It's very exciting to have more bands joining the Adelaide music scene. If you haven't already had a listen to Almost, definitely check it out. They've also got a really awesome, fun video clip, and you should probably learn the choreography in that before you head along to one of their gigs. Keep an eye out for upcoming gigs and new music for the rest of the year. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks so much, Dakota. That was unreal.